Oh no.
Yeah.
Is it my turn? Oh, biscuits.
Yeah.
It's my
You
turn.
start.
Hey,
You
everyone.
start.
I'm
You
Molly
start.
Wood. Welcome back to Make Me Smart, where once we're focused up, we make today make sense. That's what we do.
Drew just that. That's
do.
2 days in a row. Drew's like, I
Yep.
am in the control here.
It's like I'm going to choose a number of seconds and then hit the button.
That's right. Hey, everybody, it's Kai. It is Happy Hour Friday. Economics on Tap is what we like to call it. And I will say, just to follow up from yesterday's pod, I've had the second shot in me now for 6 hours, and I feel just fine. Thanks. So we'll see. Just want to provide a little continuity there.
I did a double finger cross for you. Ooh, what's that? Yeah. Fancy glass.
What? Oh, so my my now 22-year-old, but back before he could drink, son, who also likes IPAs, got me a special. Apparently, this is like a special IPA glass, and there's some beer person out there who's going to say, "No, Kai, you moron! It's just a glass."
I feel like I'm certain that we've seen that, but it's pretty cool.
Whatever.
I'm having what was supposed to be just a smidge of tequila, but then I saw Zac Efron's new face on Twitter and I got all upset and I accidentally poured a little much because I want to work out after this. And I was like, I can't have very much.
Oh, how are you going to work out after having tequila at 3:30 in the afternoon? You are lying to yourself, Molly Wood.
We're going to find no way. I'm going to send a video. I love my new bike. I love my bike.
Oh, okay. Hey, do me a favor.
After never having done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear yourself coming back?
Yeah, I can. No, I do not hear anything. I just hear you.
After never having done a single cycling or soul cycle class, because apparently marketing works, I bought the Peloton knockoff. And I was like, I'm sure I'm gonna like it. The good news is I really do. I love it. It's so fun.
That's
the exercise
awesome.
bike is super fun. I know. So we'll see. I mean, this is a test. I will grant you that having a tequila at 3:30 and then attempting to go and exercise after is untried, new territory.
That is all I'm saying.
We'll see.
Speaking of new territory, hang on. Speaking of new territory, turn your head to the right. Is that a new thing for you with the ear off thing on the headphones?
Yeah, I'm trying it.
Oh, okay, good.
Is it working?
I endorse it heartily.
Okay. So recently I had some headphone bleed, but then I got new headphones, so I shouldn't have any headphone bleed anymore. But while I was having that problem, I tried the 1 ear on and 1 ear off thing, and I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. And then I realized that it makes me look a little bit less like giant radio dork and a little more like person with normal face.
Seasoned radio veteran. That's what it makes me look like.
I'm pretty excited.
Good. All right, cool.
To try this new person, because we're in case you guys have not realized, since I keep saying things about Kai's glass or whatever, we're live on YouTube. On Fridays, we do video. If you are new to the podcast, welcome to Economics on Tap, where it seems like we're already a little drunk. Maybe we'll just do some news.
Oh my goodness. So you're having tequila. I'm having, just to get the plug in here, because it's a really good beer, Beechwood Brewing down in like Huntington Beach or something. We've talked about this before on this podcast. Hazy IPA, 28 haze later.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Well, that's a clever name.
Of course not.
28 haze
isn't
later.
It though? I would never watch that movie 28 days because it's scary and I don't do that. But the beer, thank you very much.
Well, I think 28 days later is just sort of like a nice, heartwarming semi-rom-com about rehab. But I mix them up a lot.
Wait, isn't
28 days and then there's 28 days later, and one of them's a zombie movie and one of them's a heartwarming rehab tale, and I can never remember which one it is.
I'll watch the rom-com. I'm out on zombies. Will not do zombies.
That one I will say I have watched it and it is scary. Oh, nope, I was wrong. The Discord has instantly corrected me to say, no. 28 days later is the zombie movie. 28 days indeed is the happy little
I would like to take a quick pass through the YouTube comments. Matthew Carroll, he says, I have sinned drinking a fat tire in a IPA glass. Not sure that is loud. No, Matthew, it's not. No fat tire beers on this podcast. I'm sorry. And then 2 people down, Andrew Kotecki drinking Hailstorm Brewing Dominatrix, 11% triple IPA. It was a rough week. I hear you, my brother. I hear you.
Wow. Why was it such a rough week? Everyone, we see you.
I don't know. Just kind of,
It was, well, I know why. I mean, it was because there was just a lot of America packed into this week in all the worst ways. And it was tough.
I think that's right. Well, so speaking of which, should we move to the news?
Let's do it.
I'm sorry.
Because after the news comes the game.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting 4 links. Okay, so you go first because you win 4-3.
Yes.
And right
I
now
like
the
this new
producers are going,
strategy.
oh my God.
I know they're just like, oh dear Lord, how long is this going to go?
Yeah.
So, well, yesterday it's sort of like one and a quarter story and then a second story. So it's technically only 2 topics. Yesterday you talked about the realization of the growing horror in India. I mean, that situation is utterly terrible. The infections and deaths are spiking. The health system is collapsing, and the United States can't and or won't help. So today there was some reporting that said that the United States won't be able to send raw materials to India to help them make more vaccine. And most likely because of having invoked the Defense Production Act to get vaccines out the door quickly here in the United States, also won't be able to send, at least not immediately, vaccines from its stockpiles. And this is kind of exactly the long predicted moral global disaster around these vaccines, because nobody is safe until everybody is safe. If a virus is running rampant in a country, it can mutate. Those variants can spread around the world, and it just means that the virus is not under control, and that affects the global economy. If India can't go back to work because people are dying at too high a rate, that has obviously, as we know, a huge ripple effect. And it's a real quandary. It was disappointing to hear State Department spokesperson Ned Price basically say, we're prioritizing vaccinating people at home in the United States as quickly as we can, which of course they are. But that's sort of a tough thing to say, particularly when, as you will see in link 3A, we are here in the United States actually closing vaccine sites because of plummeting demand.
There are states requesting to get less vaccine because demand is lagging, which is a whole different thing. But the idea that we have vaccines to spare and are now ourselves, to some degree, engaging in what has come to be called vaccine nationalism is kind of troubling. And I think if the Biden administration really wants to reverse the trend of America alone and America first that started with the Trump years, it would be really good to get a bunch of those freaking doses on planes to everywhere,
Yeah, figure it out. Particularly since, as of today, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine has been re-cleared by the CDC for use in the United States with a warning label. So we're swimming in it.
I missed that. Yeah.
And it's time to share. I think it really is. I will say this did raise the question of, for me, somewhat selfishly, but not entirely too, though, of like, where are we with the kids and the vaccines? I know that Pfizer,
because, yes,
right, had requested emergency
inside
clearance.
my house like 10 minutes ago. Yes.
Because I want that to happen, especially if we're talking about schools reopening. There will be plenty of demand from parents who are like, yes, please vaccinate my school-age child.
Well, so what's frustrating, and my wife is literally, we were talking about this 10 minutes ago inside the house as opposed to here in my shed. And my wife was like, yeah, everybody's saying, by September, we'll have that 12 to 15 thing taken care of. And she's like, school starts in the first week of August in our school district. Hello, it's coming.
Like that vaccine needs to get approved by Monday and then start rolling out if we really think that kids are going to be, especially if they're going to have to get a 2-shot dose, which is, essentially like a 5 to 6 week process for kids. Yeah, we need to start that right now.
Right.
And also start sharing with the rest of the world so that we're not still mired in this come fall or winter or, it's just not, I think some of what happened this week too was the psychic blowback of just like, we're not as far along as we want to believe that we are, not even in the United States, and certainly not when you factor in the rest of the world where this thing is really surging out of control in some terrible, terrible ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
okay. So is that all of yours, or is there one more?
I mean, there is one more. I could probably save it. I'm just a little annoyed about Apple and its little podcast announcement. Apple is introducing paid podcast subscriptions.
It's
kind of a long thing.
I would like to go down a teeny little rabbit hole with you on that. So let's do that. Actually, save that one.
All right. Should I put it in? Let's precede it for Monday.
Just put it in there now. Your news item.
This is like a whole new thing. We've never done this before. Okay, so on Monday, tune back in if you want to hear my many, many thoughts about Apple's long, long history with podcasting.
I do.
Cue the angry music.
I want to hear them. That's why we're doing.
Okay,
it.
cool.
Right. Do we have?
Okay, we're saving it. Sorry. The Discord is like, whoa. You're just gonna have to come back.
Discorders are probably much more tuned into this than many others. Anyway, yes. Okay. So, all right. Moving on to back to today and my items. I've got a one real one and then a half of one, and I'll start with a half of one. I love today this news from J.P. Morgan in the wake of the collapse of the Super League, which, if you haven't been following sports this week, is all about some really elite level clubs and rich clubs, driven, I should say, by American owners of some of those clubs, having wanted to band together to take all the money and all the fun out of global soccer. And they did that in part with financing from JP Morgan to the tune of something like $3.5 or $4 billion. So the league collapses because global soccer fans got really annoyed and global soccer officials got really annoyed at these 12 or a dozen and a half, whatever it is, clubs. And JP Morgan came out today and basically said, I'm sorry. And here's the quote from JPM London. We clearly misjudged how this deal would be viewed by the wider football community and how it might impact them in the future, the bank said in a statement on Friday. We will learn from this. Which I just love. I just can't even with the JP Morgan. We're really sorry. Please don't hate us. We attempted to tear down an entire global sports structure, but
just to be clear, the most popular global sports structure in the world. Like there are like two things in the world you don't mess with. And those things are football and BTS. Yes. Like don't even. If you tweet about either of those two things, you're going to have a viral day.
That's pretty funny.
Didn't see it coming.
Yes.
I didn't see it coming.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
I did not see BTS coming in that, but that's all right. K-pop
I can't believe they had to apologize.
Football. That's all good. That's all good. Anyway, so that's my fun. Oh, come on, you guys thing. Item number 2 for me is a tad more serious. And once again, I went to the FT for this, but there have been stories about this in American papers for 24-ish or something hours. The news that the Biden administration is going to propose a 39.4% capital gains tax increase. And the president's going to announce it. Sorry, it's not a 39.4% increase. It's an increase to 39.4%. And the president's going to announce this next week, apparently in his mock State of the Union, his first address to a joint session of Congress. And you need go no farther than the headline in the Financial Times, which is investors in uproar over Biden's proposed capital gains tax rise. So number 1, shut up. Number 2, honestly, because look at the stock market. Look at the stock market. We got capital gains coming out the freaking zoo. Okay. So that's number 1. Number 2 is there is evidence, and I cite as my evidence, but many others have it, a report from the BMO Investment Strategy Group using some data. They say, and here's what they say, calendar years in which tax hikes went into effect have historically coincided with double-digit S&P 500 stock index price returns, double-digit price returns, and stronger U.S. GDP growth on average. There has been so much wailing and gnashing of teeth in the last 24 hours about how you're going to cripple the American economy, about how you're going to lock up capital and people are going to just implode because you're going to raise capital gains taxes in a time when capital gains have been astro-bleeponomical. I just cannot even. And I think people need to get a grip. Subparagraph 2 on this one, by the way, is that has nobody who's complaining about this ever met the Senate of the United States? The Senate of the United States right now is divided 50-50. Kamala Harris, obviously, as a vice president, has the 51st and tie-breaking vote. But Joe Manchin is no fan of tax increases. Kristen Sinema is no fan of tax increases, both of whom are Democrats who are part of that 50. So the odds that something like an increase in the capital gains tax to 39.4% gets passed are really, really small. So everybody just throttle the heck back. Okay.
But they have to let him know about their displeasure so loudly.
I
have to say my Twitter feed went crazy because I have a lot of venture capitalists in this in my Twitter feed.
Yeah.
And they in particular are extremely concerned about this because it would affect investors because they have this like carried interest payment that they get on the, it's basically a share of the profits on the funds. Exactly. Like it has always been the sweetest of sweetheart deals that occasionally feels barely legal, and it's taxed at this lower, 20% rate. Yeah. I mean, it's like, look, would you like a functioning economy with roads and bridges that don't fall down?
Yep.
You tell me.
Yeah. So look, I do need to actually correct my rant in one regard, and thank you all your YouTube followers for pointing this out. This is for people with incomes over $1 million, right? Who also have capital gains. So that's important. It does not affect moms and pops and all of that jazz. And it is, in essence, 0.3% of taxpayers in this country. So there is that. It's a very small number, but cut it out. That's what I got.
Yeah. But they're not gonna because they want that Joe Manchin vote.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, look, this is all the game. Like, there was no way that Biden wasn't going to come in talking about raising taxes on rich people. That is the only way to fund a lot of the things that he wants to do. Everybody knows that is coming. They want to make a lot of noise up front so that they can hopefully negotiate it down to something that they live with because they know it's going to happen.
That's right. So John Lankert in the YouTube comments is bleeping. Yeah, no, totally. John Lankert in the YouTube comments is bleeping on the bingo card. I don't think bleeping is on the bingo card. We haven't played the bingo card in a long time, but we should put that. Tony, you should put that back on the website.
Yeah.
I don't know. I forgot.
Maybe a little update.
Writ large is on the bingo card. There's some other things. I don't even know.
Full stop. Pretty sure full stop is out there. All right. What do we think? We have well exceeded our 15 minutes already. Shall we play a game?
Oh my God, it's right. 10 to 4. Yeah, we gotta
go. We gotta go. I got nothing to do except ride my bike.
You're not gonna ride your bike. Have another sip. This is Friday, so we play a little game with Drew Jostat on the other end of the phone here. Half full, half empty, or as some call it, Jostat's revenge. I kind of like that one. Drew, you are on.
All right,
Drew from downtown Los Angeles.
you're on the air. Are you half full or half empty on the vaccine time off tax credit?
I don't know what the vaccine
okay, so this is the tax credit that would. It's like, is it a tax? I think it's a tax credit for companies that give people paid time off to go get vaccinated.
Oh, so look.
Why does that have to be so freaking hard? That's so much work and paperwork.
Right.
Just give them the time off, for God's sake.
Do you want your thing? Take 4 hours for crying out loud.
Seriously, like, do you want your employees to not die? This actually feels just like the, people freaking out about the high top capital tax gains. Like, if everyone dies, nobody can work for you. If nobody makes any money, they can't buy your stuff. Like, it's not like you are trying to be the best person in the world here. Just have some basic common sense.
So I wonder if, so there was that email from HR or whatever it was a number of weeks ago about our corporate overlords giving us 4 hours of sick time to go get the shot if we need it. I wonder if American public media in all its glory gets that tax credit. Anyway, that's ridiculous. I
would assume so, but that's ridiculous. Should not be required. Yeah. I mean, it's frankly absurd.
Yes.
And dumb, half empty.
I'm like,
all the empties.
Half shut up. Yeah, all the empties. Next.
All right. How about having the United States' gas emissions?
Oh, well, so this is out of the White House this week. The president promising to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 50% by the year 2030. It should be said here, by the way, which I forgot to say on the air the other day, that is from 2005 levels. So that's kind of relevant. I'm half full. I'm all full. Just do that. Fully full.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yes, like you know what? It's good that we can only be half. I am half full on this because it is frankly the bare minimum. And we need to do more than the bare minimum. So it is something, but we're going to have to get a lot more serious.
Yeah.
Even than that.
Oh my goodness. This is like getting fact checked in real time. Carol Cooper, isn't APM tax exempt? Yes, they are. Fine, whatever. Fine.
This is what happens
trying
when
to
you
make a
cultivate such an
corporate point.
intelligent audience. You
I know,
quickly grow
right?
to regret it. All right, what's
know.
next?
All right.
Half full or half empty on the overtime sports high school basketball league.
That was such a weird story. So Euler did this story for us yesterday on Marketplace. Overtime Sports is a company that got $80 million in late stage seed funding from late stage funding from like Bezos and Drake and a bunch of NBA guys to do like new social media stuff and to start a high school basketball league where high school players who want to go pro but don't want to deal with college can make up to $100,000 by playing in this league and then turn pro after that. I think I'm half empty. No, I'm half empty. I'm half empty. Yeah.
I'm not of the opinion that everyone needs to go to college. I am of the opinion that we don't need all these tech billionaires deciding that people don't need to go to college. And I'm definitely half full on them using their money to just pump like perverse incentives into
That's exactly
our
right.
schools.
Into
our schools.
Yep.
Like take your know-it-all money and get out of education.
Yep.
And someone will say that this will provide some kids some opportunity, and that's totally true, but it's a very, very small number, a tiny, infinitesimally small number of kids who are going to be good enough to go directly into professional sports out of this. And then for everybody else, perverse incentives galore. Yep. I don't like it.
Yep.
No.
What Molly
empty.
Said. DC statehood.
Oh, so interesting. So
like why?
First of all,
okay. What are the arguments against DC statehood? Is what I want to know.
Well, it's
that's I sincerely
what's so interesting about this is that the completely fatuous arguments that members of the Republican Party are making about DC statehood, like the founders never intended DC to be a state, and then you see all these people coming back with, well, the founders never intended for slaves and women to vote, right? And all of these things. It was
also how many states were not states when the founders did the states?
Exactly.
The Constitution, like what?
Exactly.
Oh my God.
It's unbelievable. I'm half full on DC statehood. It's craziness.
I am all the way full on DC statehood. Like until I hear a coherent argument against it,
right? That
is anything other than, oh no, you might get the chance to put some people you like on the Supreme Court, which appears to be the primary argument. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And also they're just making like, we were having a conversation about it the other day and it was just like, is it normal for people to just like straight up lie? Like some member of Congress, some Republican member of Congress was on TV just saying like, there aren't enough people in DC for there to, them to be a state.
I know. And there are more people in DC like than in Montana. I know.
Than in Wyoming. Yeah. It's like, but
yes,
like this is not only is that just a blatant lie on TV, like you can disprove it 1 second later. Like, are you not even trying to come up with real arguments?
Yep.
So, I mean, yes, make it a state. The heck.
Yep.
Definitely.
All right. How are you feeling about finding the next Jeopardy host?
LeVar Burton.
So can I ask you, this is a totally serious question and not at all rooted in jealousy that I was not even in the conversation. How did LeVar Burton come to be the guy? How did
internet? Well, he's not the guy. They're going to do, it sounds like they're going to have like a sort of a rotation. I mean, I think we all know he's the guy. Like, come on, if he's not the guy, the internet's totally going to revolt. No, that was the internet.
Right.
That was basically like a giant, populist write-in campaigns.
Do we know if he's even good at it? What? I mean,
don't know.
We don't know.
We'll find out. But what's so cool about it is that I saw this great tweet that was like, shout out to LeVar Burton for essentially manifesting this thing that he wanted, because he wanted it. He was talking about wanting to be the host of Jeopardy, apparently long before Alex Trebek died. And even before he said that he was sick, LeVar Burton was like, I've always had this dream. I would love to do this thing. And then when the opportunity arose, the internet was like, we got you, buddy. Let's make it happen.
Wow. All right.
I know.
Okay, then.
So, yeah. I mean, I don't know what you mean by finding Drew. I'm just going to go with I'm all the way full on LeVar Burton hosting Jeopardy.
I'm in the I'm going to half withhold judgment because I just want to see. I just want to see how he does. I was impressed with Aaron Rodgers. I was impressed with Anderson Cooper. I want to see.
Wait, they hosted?
Yeah.
Where can I find these, internet? I guess. Yeah.
On
I haven't
the
watched any of
internet.
these.
Duck
Aaron
it,
Rodgers,
yo,
the
just duck
quarterback?
it. Yes, apparently really good because he literally studied tape. You know how NFL quarterbacks like study tape all the time so that they know what's going to happen? Rodgers like studied tape and did mock things in his living room with the sound down, the whole deal. He's a little obsessive, actually. Yeah.
I'm kind of a hard pass on that. I'm not going to lie.
All right. He was pretty good.
Anderson Cooper?
Mm.
Why does he even want that
Yes.
job? He has a job.
The guy's on 60 Minutes. He's on CNN. He's got a new baby. Maybe he doesn't have enough fulfillment in his life. I don't know.
He needs a lot of attention. LeVar.
That was weird. That was a weird thing to say.
That was an odd one.
It was an odd one.
Are we
We're
done?
going like on a half an hour. We should.
Drew's like, you know what? I'm just gonna.
Okay.
Everyone's like,
so,
no,
Drew,
Anderson Cooper.
Drew has decided we are done. We're back on Monday. I am out on Tuesday. Marielle's going to be here with Molly covering for me, and I am grateful for that.
Yes, she is delightful. Marielle Segura. We're going to be doing the Tuesday deep dive on how COVID has changed the way we look at privacy. Spoiler alert, we killed it dead. But not in all the ways we thought we were going to. Maybe just some different ways. Anyway, so if you have questions or comments about that, send them in advance to makemesmart@marketplace.org. Have a lovely weekend. Thanks for joining us. Nice to see all your smiling comments. We'll be back in a couple days.
I'm pretty sure this is the longest we have gone. Make Me Smart is produced by and directed by Marissa Cabrera. Tony Wagner does all things production-wise. Stephen Bion is our video producer. Also, our social media intern is Emily McCune. Erica Phillips writes our newsletters. Did I do them? Yes, I did them. And our Make Me Smart explainers.
I know you're freaking out about the intern situation thing, but like Emily's doing great. She's doing great. Today's program was engineered by Drew Jostad. Ben Tolliday and Daniel Ramirez composed our theme music, now in syndication or something. Donna Tam is our senior producer. The executive director of On Demand is Satara Nieves. I'm just hoping they're getting like residuals. I'm sure we don't do that. I'm not trying to be snotty.
It's public radio.
But
does BJ Liederman get residuals for all the NPR
Emily Dash, the social intern, is her title.
Oh, there she is. Look at that. There she is. She's in the YouTube comments too. Look at that.
I know.
All right, so Emily, look, as long as you're listening,
she's literally double timing it.
I know. Here's the deal. As long as you're listening, you have mighty big shoes to fill. That's all I'm saying. Look,
Emily, Kai just seems scary, but he's not.
Story of my freaking life around here. Story of my freaking life. Shut up.
Why you gotta take the rug right? I'm standing on the rug. Just yank the
That's right. I'm standing on the rug. Oh God.
Oh my God.
All right.
Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna ride my bike.
No.
Half a tequila.
Are you kidding me? All right.
Half a tequila.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, producers. We love you. We apologize.
Bye, you guys.
Bye. Kai, I hope you continue to
See you
feel
later,
good.
everybody.